Hello, everybody, and welcome to our HeyOrca webinar this week. If this is your first time joining, what we typically ask is that you drop a hello in the chat, but also let us know where you're joining from and what the weather's like, because at least I know, Alyssa, you and I love asking people about the weather. Perfect. I already have some people adding in the chat.
Oh, Natalie, it is super windy in Burlington as well, so I hate it. I hate when it's windy.
Me too.
Looks like a lot of people have windy weather right now.
Yeah. I would say it's pretty breezy here in Montreal too. How about you, Madison?
It's actually super windy my side as well. So literally like maybe it's like a global thing.
Yeah.
Wind.
I love that. Okay, I'm seeing also a lot of familiar names in the chat. Isabella, hello. Nice to see you. Michael. Okay, perfect. So yeah, keep dropping those in the chat. We'll maybe spend 30 more seconds before we kickstart our webinar, but it is going to be a very exciting webinar today. We have a special guest that you might have noticed already, but we'll wait to introduce her for a few more minutes. But yeah, today we are talking about conquering Cringe Mountain, how to build a personal brand you're proud of. And so I'm so glad to see you all here so far. Oh, Glasgow. Oh my gosh, how fun.
Nice.
New Orleans. Milton, amazing. Okay, we're going to start this presentation. So in case this is your first HeyOrca webinar, we hold these every Thursday, and we are a social media management tool for teams and agencies. So if you have any social media scheduling needs, feel free to take a look at us. We also have unlimited users, which is very exciting. You can add your team, your clients, you name it, no additional price. We are at HeyOrca on all platforms, so feel free to give us a little follow there. I know Jessica, our social media manager, would probably appreciate that. Oh, I love that you're here for the tips to conquer the cringy vibes. Me too. Okay, so let's introduce our host. I'll pass it over to Alyssa first.
All right. My name is Alyssa, and I'm a community strategist here at HeyOrca. So I work on our webinars, our newsletter, Facebook group, and our HeyOrca stands. And I'll pass it back to Jessie.
Amazing. So, hey, I'm Jessie. I'm the director of marketing at HeyOrca. So any acquisition related things is what I'm most focused on, as well as brand awareness. So glad that you're all here today. And I'm super thrilled to now pass it to Madison. I'll let you introduce yourself, Madison.
Hi, I'm Madison. I'm a social media and community manager / UGC creator / personal brand builder and cat mom. And I'd actually love to know if anyone can guess where my accent is from. I see that I had a few friends in the chat saying that, hey, they're from here as well. So if anyone can guess, please do so in the comments. But yeah, super stoked to be here and to be chatting about climbing that cringe mountain.
Me too. And I'm secretly hoping that there will be a cat appearance at one point, because I think your cat is super cute. And it looks like we have some correct answers. I don't know if you want to do a full reveal on where you're from.
Yeah, so I'm from South Africa, Pretoria, but I recently moved to Cape Town. So that's amazing. So I have mountain, ocean, all the fun things. Yeah.
Nice. I love that. Danielle, South Africa, but I cheated and already looked at your LinkedIn. I love that.
Love it.
All right, so before we get started with some of Madison's tips, I do want to draw your attention to a LinkedIn poll. And our poll, we have these every week. And today's is, what's stopping you from building a personal brand? Love to have you weigh in on this. And someone from the HeyOrca team will drop it in the chat. And Natalie just did. Amazing. So yeah, let us know what's stopping you. We'd love to hear more about that. I know for me, even though personal branding is something I've been trying to focus on the past few months, it is still feeling a little cringe mountainy. So I'm really excited to hear what Madison has to say today. Okay, there's more for me. I think if this was an infomercial, I would say, and not just that, or whatever that saying is. And there's more, that's what it is. So we just released Inspo Library in the HeyOrca app, and it's super, super cool feature. So the Inspiration Library is just a place where you can save inspiration. Hopefully the name is pretty clear there, but you can save from TikTok, you can save from Instagram, and you can see here on the screen that you can save it in collections. You can filter whether you've used it or not by platform, and I think, and also another exciting thing is that you can add comments from the team, you can add little notes on how to use it, and you can save it from mobile. So you don't have to go into desktop to save content. You can do it from mobile, which is very exciting. And I just want to shout out Jonathan Young, one of our developers, who is one of the main leads for this new feature. And there's so much more that will be added soon. Cassandra asking about Facebook. I will get that to the team. Can you add in the chat, Cassandra, if you mean videos or posts and or both? Okay, so today, what can you expect? Well, Alyssa's going to take you through the HeyOrca Personal Branding Challenge, because you're going to learn about personal branding, but there's also some incentives on why you should try it as well. After that, she'll also talk about HeyOrca's solo plan. Finally, we'll pass it to Madison, who will talk about Cringe Mountain, her own experience building a personal brand, and you'll gain some tips there. And then Madison will also walk you through some prompts that you can take a look at. Nelia, yes, that was me. Good eye. All right, I'll pass it to Alyssa.
All right. Okay, I am so excited to tell you about the HeyOrca Personal Branding Challenge. So we'll be able to put all these tips we're about to learn into action. So basically, we are hosting a 2-week LinkedIn Personal Branding Challenge. And here are a few reasons why we think you should join it. So 1, you can grow your personal brand, expand your network, and show off your expertise, because I know everyone here is so smart and has lots of things to share, so we want to learn. And then we're also going to give you prompts, which Madison will be going over, which is so helpful, because I know for myself, something that stops me from posting on LinkedIn is I have no idea what to post. So if someone gives me prompts, I'm way more likely to actually post. So that's going to be very helpful. You don't have to just sit there thinking, what am I going to post for hours? And then, of course, we're going to climb Cringe Mountain as a crew. We're going to cheer each other on, because like Jessie, I also have that feeling still. When I write a post, I'm like, oh, does this sound weird? It can be hard. So we're all going to climb Cringe Mountain together. We're going to cheer each other on, because it feels a lot less scary when we're all just doing it together. So that will be fun. And then to go along with that, we're going to meet other marketers and creators as well. So while you're posting, we can cheer each other on and make some new connections, which is great. And then all of it will just help us be more confident online. And then hopefully at the end of these 2 weeks, we can all post on LinkedIn and feel zero cringe. We're just so used to it. It's like second nature. So that is the goal. And then, of course, it's a great way to try out HeyOrca's software for free, which I'm going to actually show you how I've set up my post for the challenge. And, of course, we have a prize. So let me talk about the prize. You could win a creator starter pack, and I am so jealous of whoever wins this, because I cannot win, and this looks very cool. So what you can win is a Digi Mic Mini with a charging case and some windscreens, the Digi Mobile 6, the Chalk Pink Octo Buddy, which is so cute, a power bank. You'll get a HeyOrca Pro calendar for a year, which is amazing. And you'll also get a HeyOrca notebook and stickers. So this is crazy. I'm very excited for whoever wins this. So to qualify into the contest, we will be randomly selecting someone who has done 6 posts in the challenge. And we want to make sure we see your posts. So make sure to use the hashtag HeyOrca Challenge at the end of your post, because not only do we want to see it so we can count it for the contest, but we also want to comment on it and hype you up. So make sure to use that hashtag at the end of every post. So this challenge is actually starting today. So today is day 1. If you are feeling really motivated after this, you could do a post right now. And it's actually going to go until November 20th at 12 p.m. Eastern. So you'll have until the 20th, and then we will be choosing our winner randomly, contacting them to let them know they won this amazing creator pack. And then the next day on the 21st, the winner will be announced on social and in our newsletter. So we're very excited. It's going to be great. I haven't even looked at the chat, but I think people are excited about this prize, which makes me excited. Love it. And also, if you're on our newsletter list, we're actually going to be putting all of the prompts Madison's going to go over in our newsletter tomorrow. And then over the next 2 weeks, I'm going to be putting the prompts in randomly as well. So if you're on the newsletter list, you'll see those prompts. I'm going to show examples of how to use them. And I want to feature a lot of you in the newsletter as well. So if you're participating in the challenge, I'd love to link some of your posts in our newsletter to get you even more hype on your posts. So if you're on the newsletter list, definitely check it out. All right, so that's everything about the challenge, but I now want to show you really quick how I'm using HeyOrca to do my posts for the challenge. So I will share my screen. All right, so I have my HeyOrca calendar here, and if you want to start a trial and use our HeyOrca solo plan, the solo plan is actually free. This is exactly what it's going to look like when you set up your profile. So I have my calendar here, and I have linked my LinkedIn account. So you can just do that by going add account. And I'm going to head into my calendar, and as you see, I have my 6 posts already laid out. And I actually have written 2 of them already. So I have one here. But then for the rest of the time, I just have my prompt because I have not written them yet. But the great thing about this is I can actually write all of these at one time and schedule them and just set it and forget it. So then for the 2 weeks, they're just going to slowly go out. And the hard part's over. It's kind of like I'm forgetting and I'm not even going to know they're going to go out. And hopefully that helps that cringe feeling. But if you're in your calendar, all you have to do is select new post here. You'll highlight your LinkedIn account, and then you'll choose when you want it to go out. And you can put your caption or media here at this point, or you can go create post, put the prompt in, and then come back to it if you're like me and haven't written all of them yet. But I thought I'll show you how we can make one go live. So I have this one written. This is going to be my first one for the challenge. I'm going to be talking about metrics. So I'm actually going to schedule this for today. And you know what? I'll do 3 o'clock. So like right after this is done. So I've chosen my time and it's in draft right now, but I am ready for it to go live at 3. So I am going to say approve. And now you'll see it's in green, which means at 3, it's going to go out live. So super easy. And I feel very organized when I do it this way. So if you want to start the trial and try the solo plan, this is exactly what your calendar will look like. And I think it's a really big hack to just plan them all out, schedule them, and then not think about it. And they'll just slowly go out, which is great. But I will stop sharing my screen.
I just want to rapid fire a few questions that I've seen in the chat. So I saw folks ask, is it available in the UK? Yes, our challenge is for anyone in the world to participate in. We've had a few people ask, does it have to only be on LinkedIn? And for this challenge, yes, we are encouraging LinkedIn. That said, of course, this is your personal brand. So if you believe that should be on Instagram or TikTok or wherever, feel free to use those platforms, of course. Will we have a recap of this after the webinar? Yes, we will send this. Alyssa specifically will send this out. And if you're not already on our newsletter, I would highly recommend that because she'll be giving you prompts throughout the week as well. All right, I think I'll pass it to Madison now. But if you have more questions, feel free to add them in the chat and we'll get to them throughout this webinar.
Amazing. Oh, I'll put this back to the beginning. We were peeping the slides earlier because we love them so much. All right, I'll pass it to Madison.
Cool. Hello, everyone. Again, I'm Madison. So I'm going to be taking you through some slides, obviously. So we've set up this challenge for the next 2 weeks, and basically we're going to start with the canvas. So before anyone starts posting on LinkedIn, HeyOrca has a really cool blog post on the canvas and also a template that you guys can copy paste. But basically the canvas is just there to clearly help you define your purpose. And there's 3 main sections that we're going to look at, which is your purpose, your narrative and personas, and your value. So your purpose is, why do you want to build a community? And I know that sounds super intimidating, because even I'm sometimes like, I don't know, I just want to chat to people. Like, that's basically my why, and I just want to share my thoughts and have a corner that's my own on LinkedIn. But we'll get to your why in a second, so that it's not so super intimidating. Your narrative and your personas is basically what experiences or passions do you share with your community. So for example, I speak about personal branding and social media. So I'm speaking to other social media managers and we all have the same pain points, for example. And then your value is, why should someone follow you and what is going to make you different from everyone else out there, which again, sounds really intimidating, but I promise you it's not that bad. We're going to hike this mountain together. Okay, so finding your why and your niche, which honestly, even after a year of me posting consistently, I still struggle with my why. And sometimes my niches feel very all over the place, but that's part of this whole journey. It's not going to be perfect. So some guiding questions that I want you guys to think about, that you can either answer in the chat or grab a notebook and pen or screenshot this as well and do this at a later stage. But your first question is, what part of your role lights you up? So is it community? Is it strategy? Is it creativity? This is really just going to help you figure out, like, what are you really passionate about? Sometimes I post about fitness stuff because I'm also a fitness person. So that kind of also seeps into my content sometimes. So it doesn't just have to be specific to your role. If you really love baking and somehow that equates into you community building, please like include it, because the more you enjoy what you post, the more consistent you're going to be with it. The next question is, what do people always come to you for advice on? It can be personal things. It can be family members coming to you for stuff. It can be other peers. So yeah, just think about that. Like, what was a recent message that someone asked you for help on? And then what's one challenge you've overcome that others can relate to? So for example, I had to overcome posting on LinkedIn, and now I'm talking about it and you guys are relating to it. So there we go. And then what's one thing you had to teach someone that's new in their role? What would it be? This is a really fun question. Again, this is especially for like anyone that's just starting out in their role. Like, you know how intimidating it was walking into an office your first day. What is just like a piece of advice you'd want to share to someone? And then what are your 4 core beliefs or values? And this for me is like the most important thing, because for example, like one of my core values is honesty, and I always try and bring that into my content. I like to think of it like, if you're online, whatever person you are in real life, your online personality needs to have some fragments of that. You don't have to show your full self, but I think if you want to build like the most authentic version of your personal brand, it needs to reflect some values and some beliefs. Again, doesn't need to be your full self. Even if it's like a 60% of you, that's great. That's enough. So a little activity is that you guys can write down 3 themes in the chat that you want to be known for on LinkedIn. So for example, my themes are personal brand building, social media management, and community building, and sometimes really wackadoodle memes and being the cool tatted chick on LinkedIn. That's what I want to be known for. So yeah, if anyone wants to write in the chat, please do so. I'd love to see what you guys would want to be known for.
I already saw one from Cassandra, which is outdoors hunting, social media tips and tricks, which I love. I added mine, which are Broadway, marketing and community. So yeah, if anyone else has any themes that they'd love to be, oh, okay. Tara, personal, tax professional, fitness and love of the great British countryside. Love. Mental health, cats, creatives and design. Okay, these are all really great themes, everyone.
Yeah. Also, especially the cat one, I was immediately like, yes, yes for the cats. Cool. So how are we going to climb Cringe Mountain? Okay. So no one starts at the top, obviously. Everyone starts at the bottom. We all like equal players. Even people who have been doing this for years and years, everyone started at the bottom. And we all start at the place where it's super messy, super confusing, vulnerable, and it feels really scary. So when you start posting, don't expect it to be like this masterpiece Picasso thing that you're going to post online. Maybe it is, and that's super amazing, but maybe it's not. Maybe it's going to take you a week or 2 months to get there. But The only way up is by posting the really awkward, bad, messy bits. And the more you post, the more you're going to learn. It's going to be data for you. Number 2 is to cringe is just confidence you haven't built yet, which is genuinely so true. So every time you're like, oh, this sounds so lame and no one's going to think it's cool. And what if the post flops or something? That's basically just you growing. And also the more you post, the more you're going to find your voice. And you can't find your voice if you never post. So yeah, just the more you post, the better you are going to become at it. And then focus on value, not on validation. So if your post was intended to help someone, to give some humor, to just lighten the mood, or to teach someone something, then you know that your post did its job. And that also ties back into keep your why louder than your what if, because that what if is always going to be there. That what if it sucks? What if it fails? What if I don't amount to 10,000 followers or anything like that? If your why is always focused on wanting to help someone or deliver value or humor something, that's it. That's all that you need. And the rest will follow. And that fear is just going to like melt away like chocolate. I don't know if that was a good analogy, but we'll keep it. Okay, so what feels great content on LinkedIn? Obviously, there's a lot of best tips and practices. Whatever maybe works for me might not work for you, vice versa. But these are some things that are like generally really helpful to kind of follow if you are completely new to posting on LinkedIn. So scarcity, same with like on TikTok, Instagram, all of these platforms. The minute someone feels like something is really rare and exclusive, you get more engagement and they want to read more. So think about just how you can hook someone in. Don't clickbait it, but just basically create something engaging that people want to read more. Skimmability. So we all know that our attention spans are non-existent at the moment. So no one wants to read super long chunks of content. Just keep it bite-sized, small takeaways. Even if your post is really long, that's super fine. But I've noticed that the minute that there's like 5 little lines in one paragraph thing, people are like, no, like I don't want to read. I don't even want to read my own post because it's way too many words and it's just word vomit. So try and keep it kind of short and to the point. Then practical utility. The most shareable posts are the ones that people can use instantly. So if I'm going to be sharing of like, if you use this hook, I guarantee you'll get 100 new followers. Someone's going to want to share that and someone's going to want to copy paste it. Please don't make a post on that though, because I don't think that's very accurate. I don't know if my hook would help, but yeah. So if you can just keep it something that has immediate value, that's great. And then consistency. The more you show up with quality content, the more people will trust you, the more you're going to find your voice, the more people are going to want to rely on you, and they're going to be like, wow, this person is sharing value. So they're going to want to keep following you and you're going to grow your community. So yeah, consistency is the name of the game. Okay, then some writing tips. When I first started on LinkedIn, I was honestly just posting crap. Like, I'm not even going to deny it. It was just, I didn't know where to start. And now I kind of have a set formula that I like to follow. And sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, and sometimes I go super rogue. But a rule with any platform, as you guys have seen with video, text, whatever it is, there's always a hook. So on LinkedIn, it will be your first line. And that needs to hook people in to want to keep reading. So start with something really strong, whether it's contradictory, triggering, emotional. Just put something out there that's really just a statement, because that's the first thing that people are going to see. Then keep it human. If you like using really big words, that's amazing. If you like throwing in slang, that's also super cool. I've just noticed that sometimes there's like a really fine line between your group chat and still being professional online. So for instance, I swear quite a bit and I use dude and rad and whatever else. And that kind of does show up on my posts and in my comment section. So that's me in person and that's how I am online. But yeah, some Slack language lingo, I keep away from LinkedIn. And then make it skim friendly again. So short sentences, the quicker you can get to the point, the better, because people are just a little bit lazy sometimes to read. And then end with a CTA, which would either be like a really good takeaway or a question. I like ending them, my post with a question, because then I know there is going to be engagement in the comment section. And it's also a little tip that sometimes if you do just end with like a takeaway instead of a CTA, you can even create your own engagement within your comments. So you can be the first to comment with another question so that people will then respond back to you. You don't have to wait for other people to comment on your post. You can do it yourself. You can even like your own post. There's no rules to that. Okay, writing template number 1. So this is the one that I generally tend to follow and most people tend to follow. So you'll start with your hook. You'll highlight your pain point, then your solution, and then your CTA. So again, start with like a bold statement, a relatable question, a surprising stat, anything, and then the pain point. So something that people can really relate to and touches on a feeling. Then obviously your solution or your takeaway or your lesson or whatever you learn from it, or like what other people need to learn from it, that's where you would input it. And then your CTA, again, takeaway, question, try and reflect it back to people so that you make a two-way conversation. There's nothing worse than being online and it feels like you're being spoken to and not with. So yeah, just make sure that you're having conversation with people. I think that's like the most important thing. And then template number 2, which is your story arc. So set the scene. So for example, with my post, I started immediately with like a timeline and highlighting a number. So 3 months ago, I did XYZ. Then you would set the challenge or, you know, what you struggled with, the shift and what changed, and then just your takeaway. Again, you can end with just a takeaway, a question. That's entirely up to you. But this is a really fun one, especially for those ones where you like want to reintroduce yourself or you touching on like a really vulnerable personal story. That's when you would use this template. And then template number 3, I use this one when I'm like really lazy or I don't have like a lot of inspiration to write something and I'm a little bit in a crunch and I'm like, damn it, I need to get a post out today. And I also use this a lot in the beginning when I was like a little bit timid to share some more deep, vulnerable stuff. So the list is great because again, you would start with your hook, but instead of like sentences or getting into a story, you would just kind of list out numbers, skimmable, short, punchy content. And then again, wrap up with a CTA. I don't know if anyone has any questions maybe so far in the chat. I haven't like looked at the chat, so I'm sorry. Yeah, I don't know if there were any questions.
No, there's a lot of love, and Jen writes, Fatima is great. She was one of the examples you had in your slides, Madison.
Oh, cool.
But I did request to go back a slide. So Cassandra, here's your chance to screenshot it really quickly. Perfect. And someone says, I want to be Madison when I grow up, which is very sweet.
I also want to be Madison when I grow up.
All right.
Okay.
I think you're probably good to.
Cool. Okay. So again, LinkedIn best practices. Just to go over this again. So line breaks. If you want to break, get a Kit Kat. Like the name of the game on LinkedIn kind of is the shorter the better, because again, we want to get to the point as quickly as possible. Sometimes I'll ask like ChatGPT. Yes, I do use AI sometimes. I'm not afraid to admit it, but to just ask, would a toddler understand this? I know it's such a basic question, but sometimes what I'm trying to say is not coming across properly and it's way too complicated. So ChatGPT will be like, no, like not even a kid understands what you're trying to say, like dumbify it. And that's kind of where it comes in. Number 2 is leave the novel writing again for Sunday afternoon. You just want to create clarity with people. You don't want to like overcomplicate it. I also feel like sometimes when something is super long, it's because you're trying to overcomplicate it and over-explain and your message gets lost in that. Add some personality with emojis. I love emojis, okay? I feel like it instantly changes the whole feeling of the whole post. Something can be super morbid, and then the minute you add in like a little rainbow, a little sparkle, it gets like super light. So please use emojis. I think they're super fun. Again, you don't have to like overclutter it and emojify everything, but there is a time and place for them. So yeah, do use them. Post the times you're most active. This seems really obvious. And earlier Alyssa was saying that, you know, she schedules her stuff ahead of time, and that is super helpful. I do exactly the same thing. But the risk that you run with that is the minute that you schedule things and you leave it, one, you're probably going to miss some comments that are instantly happening. And sometimes you forget for like 3 days that you scheduled something and you never open the app. So my rule of thumb is I know that I'm usually active between 12 p.m. and 3 p.m. So I schedule content for then so that one, I'm active and I can immediately reply to comments. And I can also engage with my community, because the other half of being active on LinkedIn is engaging with other people. And honestly, the comment section is so much fun. I feel like I found my voice in the comment section. The posting was fun. That was one part of it. But I had way more fun in the comments and like actually talking to people and building relationships and friendships in the comments. Then that also ties into celebrate other people in the comment section. So if you're going to be active, like cheer other people on. Obviously, you want the same for you. So whatever you give back, well, whatever you give out, you're going to get back. I feel like that's with life in any way. So yeah, if you want some love in your content, give some love to other people's content. They really do appreciate that. And then I think LinkedIn is kind of like the new Facebook. So add some pictures. Don't be afraid to like show your dog or your holiday and stuff. Like there really is no rules to this. If you want to post a cool selfie, do it. I think that's super cool. Also, sometimes it adds a little bit more context to your post, where if you feel like the text can get lost, you just use a photo and be like, yeah, this is the beach that I'm referencing in my post. Okay.
One question about images.
I love it.
Oh, sorry. I just saw a question in the chat, I think from earlier with images. Would you say when you add an image to a post that post usually does better than one that doesn't have one?
I feel like it's so 50-50. Like sometimes if I post like a selfie, I feel like then it does well, because now people like they have a face to it. So I feel like people obviously connect with other people. And if I post just my food, it doesn't really get it gets the same amount of engagement. If there's a face in it, then yes, it does get more engaging, because I think people can now put more of a personality behind it. But I don't think there's right or wrong. I feel like LinkedIn is more so a text first platform, which is great for people who don't want to show, their more personal size or photos and stuff. They can just stick to text only content, which is great.
Cool. Thank you.
I don't know if there's more questions.
I think you're good.
Okay, great. Okay, so now for the fun part, the prompts. Please screenshot these. They will be sent obviously again in the emails, but feel free to screenshot them now as well. So there's going to be 12 prompts. If you want to use all of them, amazing. If not, super cool. You can just jig and jive and use whatever you want. So the first 4 prompts, just to kind of quickly go over them, which is then the post I was too scared to share. Second prompt would be the only metrics I actually care about now. If there's anyone in the chat, like when you guys just started out, maybe you guys only cared about the likes and I don't know, follow account. That was definitely me. I was super vain when I started in social media, and I was like, I just want the likes. I don't track that anymore. So yeah, I would love to know in the comment section what you guys track now, or if there's like a different metric that you guys focus on more now. The third prompt is the shortcut that backfired. And then the fourth one over here is if I had to hit restart on my career, which is super fun because we've all started somewhere, and I wish I could go back to my younger self and be like, dude, there's so many other ways that you could have done this. Like, it's okay. It's going to be fine. It's going to work out. Like, trust the process. So yeah, that's a really fun prompt that I hope that you guys do use. So just to quickly go over this one. So your definition of success probably does look a lot different today compared to when you started. So this is basically, you would just share how you measure success now. If you're still stuck on like, you don't know how to start the prompt, there is like a sub prompt section, which is basically you can start off with, I used to chase metric. Now I track your new metric because it actually shows, and then you show why it matters. And then you can end with however you want. So for instance, and I'm also going to be using this exact post. I'll maybe like tweak it a little bit, but I used to chase follow counts because I thought it meant something about me, and genuinely I was that vain. And I didn't care about anything else. I literally just wanted the likes. And yeah, I didn't care if the content was good or not, if it was valuable or not. And now I actually track the conversation. So the DMs, the comments, the people that say, oh my gosh, I love your post. Because success isn't how many people see you, it's how many people feel you. And then I just ended my post with a CTA, so a question, what about you? What are the metrics that you track now? And I use the hashtag, which is hashtag HeyOrca challenge. So yeah, again, just remember to add the hashtag at the end of every post. Yeah. The next set of prompts is what community means to me as a social media manager. We all have such a different outlook of what community means to us. And I think this is such a cool question because for me, obviously, community maybe means just having a group of people that all share the same values and I can go to them for advice and they're just a supportive group. But maybe that means something else to you. So that's a fun post to do. The next one is how I stay one step ahead without burning out. As a social media manager, we've all been there. We've all had burnout. We've all maybe faced burnout. So yeah, this is just a super cool post, especially for people just starting out, or advice that you would want to give to people just starting out on how you avoid burnout. Like this is just an endless topic that you can go on a rant forever about. Okay, like, so please share them. And a milestone, I'm really proud of my career. For me, that would be this moment right now, this cool webinar. So yay. And then how I use HeyOrca to make my work easier. And again, please use the hashtag like at the end of all your posts and also screenshot this. It is going to be in an email, but yeah, if you guys wanted to screenshot it now.
I'm just going to interrupt for 1 second, Madison. We have a question from Cassandra. Do we have to follow these in any order or jump around? So just so everyone knows, we're giving 12 prompts because we want you to have some flexibility in this challenge, but really, at least for the prize, you only need to do 6. So feel free to use all 12, as Madison mentioned, like that's amazing. But 6 is what we're looking for in the contest, and there's no order that you need to go with.
So yeah, just another prompt to break it down is how I stay one step ahead without burning out. So this would just basically be you pulling back the curtain and your process on how you plan, stay organized, and obviously avoid burnout. So I used to juggle a million tabs and still feel behind. Then I started using tool or method or process and then you would state your benefit and everything clicked. So this would really just highlight your tool, your workflow, and your process. So for example, my post was, I used to think time blocking and time blocking tools were absolute foo-foo, and I didn't believe in them. I thought they were just another crappy tool being sold to me. But turns out it's not. It actually really does work, and I found a really cool tool that helps me time block for 25 minutes a day, which doesn't sound like a lot, but genuinely I've gotten so much more work done because of this little tool on my phone. And it has a cool white like background noise thing. It's amazing. And I'm so glad that I found it. So that is what this post is about for me. And then I also highlight basically the benefits, which I also went back and I listed some bullet points, which would be, I think that was the 3rd framework that I highlighted, yeah, which was the bullet point thing. And then again, I just asked a question as my CTA.
I'm just going to unmute again just to let you all know that Madison had drafted these in HeyOrca. So there's another plug for HeyOrca to schedule out your posts for this challenge.
And then I also see someone just asked posting frequency. I think whatever works for you. If you want to do all 6 posts in 1 week, you can do that. If you want to spread them out over the next 2 weeks, that's also perfectly fine. I think the most important thing is to just find a schedule that works for you and that feels manageable for you. Because at the end of the day, you like, obviously you want to have fun with this and you don't want to feel pressure to be like, okay, I have to get 6 posts out in 1 day. Like, no, whatever works for you over the next 2 weeks. Yeah. And then
I saw another, oh, sorry. I just saw one more question, Madison, which is, do we have to use these exact prompts to enter the challenge, or can we do our own? So I would recommend starting with these, but feel free to make them your own. So like, you don't have to use exactly what's written, but I guess be inspired by them for the challenge. But if you feel like you're not connecting to any of these prompts, yes, by all means, feel free to do your own. Just use the HeyOrca hashtag so we can see. All right, sorry, Madison, go ahead.
All good. And then the last 4 prompts, everything changed when I ditched the rule book, which is great because I feel like there's so many foo-foo rules out there that doesn't apply, or like that's super dated and stuff. And, you know, it's all about carving your own way. And then the push I needed to kickstart my personal brand, which is hopefully this webinar. And if it wasn't giving what it needed to give. And then the last prompt is introduce or reintroduce yourself. I feel like I'm also way overdue to reintroduce myself. So I'm definitely going to be hopping onto that one this week. So then just to break down this one post, everything changed when I ditched the rule book. Here comes my cat. So we all have felt FOMO when a new platform or meme drops, but sometimes restraint is the real strategy. So again, it's about carving your own way. So earlier in my career, I didn't plan anything. I was just waking up and being like, cool, I'm going to post this today. I had like no strategy, no plan. I was super new, and it obviously didn't work out for very long. I got so burnt out by doing that and being so disorganized. So yeah, this post of mine basically covers that. You guys also see me posting this on LinkedIn in the next 2 weeks somewhere. And then again, I ended it with a question because I just like having that extra bit of engagement in the comments. And then I use the hashtag HeyOrca challenge hashtag again. And then, so there's a lot of super cool accounts and creators on LinkedIn now. Like, it's so amazing to see. And I love studying all of these accounts, especially just to kind of see how people engage with other people in the comment section, how they write posts, what they're known for. So for example, like Katie, she makes the funniest memes. I really love going to her for the memes. We all know Jade, I think by now, like she's just really big in the community. So again, go study these people. I think it's so great to draw inspiration from them, especially if you're feeling stuck on something. Here's some more inspiration accounts. Maya's super great. Max, I love his content. It's like very inspiring. And I just love looking up to these people online. So yeah. Also, if you guys have any other people that you love and that you get inspiration from, please drop them in the comments. I'm always looking for new people to connect with and to expand my community as well. And yeah, so I'm super stoked to be climbing Cringe Mountain with everyone. Again, like take a deep breath. It's going to be cool. It's just suppose it's really not that scary. Draft your first one and just post it. I should just schedule it and don't even like look again. Just let it be out into the ether and it's up to the universe. But yeah, really stoked for this challenge with everyone. And I can't wait to see all of the posts.
Yay. Thank you so much, Madison. This was very, very helpful. And I just want to shout out Michelle in the chat. Michelle has started a Google Sheet where everyone can put their LinkedIn accounts in there so we can follow each other and hype each other up. So big shout out for Michelle for making that. That is so helpful. Thank you so much. And we'll go over a few reminders. So for the challenge, definitely make sure you are putting hashtag HeyOrca challenge at the end of your posts. We want to make sure we see them. We want to make sure they're counted toward the prize. So don't forget to put that there. And of course, we just want to make sure we're liking your content, commenting. We're so excited. So some other reminders is today is the very first day of the challenge. So feel free to post right now if you're feeling really inspired. And it goes up until November 20th at 12 o'clock. And so whoever is posting the 6 times, those people will be put into a random draw for our amazing creator starter pack prize. And if you want to try out the HeyOrca solo plan, we can put the link in the chat again in case you missed it. So definitely take a look at that. The prompts that Madison just went over, I will be putting them in tomorrow's newsletter, all of them, but then through the next 2 weeks, I will be putting them again through the newsletter. So there will be reminders throughout those 2 weeks there. And then if there's some posts that I am seeing that I think are really cool, I'm going to link them in our newsletter to hype you up there. So definitely keep an eye out for that. And yeah, I'm trying to think like what else do I need to remind you about? I feel like the biggest thing is just make sure to use that hashtag because we want to make sure that we're seeing your posts. And if you want to try out HeyOrca's solo plan, we did put the link in the chat. Now I'm seeing some questions. So the trial is 14 days, but then it goes into your solo plan, which is free, and you can have that forever. So that is amazing. Do the posts need to be set to public?
Yeah, for that one, Robin, we'll need to be able to see it. So I think public will be the best option there.
Perfect. Let me see if there's any others.
Isabella's asking, do we have to pick from the prompts for the challenged account, or does any post that goes under the hashtag will do? Ideally, you're using some of the prompts, but if they don't feel like they fit your personal brand really well, that's totally okay. Feel free to be inspired by them and to pull other options, Isabella. But yeah, include the hashtag. That part is very important.
Amazing. I do see one comment today. I learned that Digi is said Digi and not DJI. I could be saying it wrong. So don't take my word for it. I'm probably not saying it right. So do not copy me. It is probably wrong.
Madison, we had a good question you might be able to answer, which is, would you recommend we post to connect with our audience or to appeal to potential clients? Or is this one and the same?
I think that depends on, so if your goal is, okay, let's say, for example, you're like a freelancer and you need the clients, I think your content would then be a good split between majority towards clients, but you also want to build a community and help educate other people, because majority of your following might be people who go to you for inspiration or for advice or for whatever value. But I think majority of your content would then be for clients. For me, for example, I'm trying to build a community and less focused on retaining clients. So I focus on giving other social media managers tips and building my network that way.
Okay, awesome. Thank you.
Amazing. And I know we are now up on time, but if you have any questions at all about this challenge, feel free to message me on LinkedIn or respond to our newsletter, and I can definitely help you out. And I'm so excited to see everyone's posts and can't wait to start reading them.
Yeah, thank you so much, guys. Can't wait to see everyone's post on LinkedIn and also to connect with everyone. Yes. You're just going to see like Madison viewed your profile in like the next hour.
Yeah, I'm just going to be creeping around LinkedIn for the next 2 weeks. But yes, so excited. Thank you so much, Madison, for teaching us everything and for giving us those really helpful prompts. And yeah, I can't wait to see everyone's posts.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.